Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Drawing Conclusions. I'm Nick Williams, Principal Consultant at DeepBridge Consulting, and today we're going to make your content go further, faster, and be more effective. So we're going to continue this content conversation, and I've kind of alluded to it before in the past couple of videos and other posts, but staying on theme, we're actually going to go into, because I got a lot of questions about this from yesterday's posts, about content being a habit, not a tactic. And the reason, and we'll get into it today, but the reason why it is a habit is because it doesn't really matter what your strategy is. Tactics are obviously different than strategies, but the underlying support should be there. And working at P&G was something in media called always on. And I think for a lot of businesses, you don't have to be a $58 billion business to have an always on strategy. It's just that when you buy, instead of buying media always, because we don't all have an unlimited amount of money like these big companies do, you definitely always have to have a content always on mindset. And getting in the habit and rhythm of creating content that's your best ally. That's your number one thing you probably should be working on, or have someone in play, the Gary Vee model. Find a content maker, find a math guy or gal, find a video gal or guy. But your content creator, that's a really important piece and really important component of your success. So let's get into it. What we're going to talk about is how to build the content strategy. So now that we know the why, content, it needs to be a habit. You have to always be doing it, but how do you find the time? And if you make a content schedule, what you'll notice is, number one, you're just more organized, but number two, you're more effective because you can plan out all of your topics. For instance, if you haven't noticed, I've talked about content 4 or 5 posts in a row. That's on purpose, right? Because if I'm creating content to support a new launch I'm about to put up, or if I'm going to put something on the website that talks all about content, I've got all of this supporting content cross-platform. So it's very cohesive, and it tells an eloquent story, so I can refer back to all these pieces. So if I go and make something on my website, or if I have a new launch, I don't have to refer to something that's 6 months old. I can refer to the fresh thing. So as people are filtering in and I qualify my leads from offline, then they're going to come in and see, oh look, he's actually got a nice new content creation checklist, or a new course on how to create more effective content, or a new book coming out. So you can be more effective with your content, and you can do better internal promotion, which is, in 2019, that's almost as important as paying for ads, is how you promote your content. So you've got your schedule here, and what I want you to do is break it up in the typical, you got your 4 weeks, that's fine. However you got to do it. I do it in quadrants, so I don't hold myself to posting every single day, like on, say, like an Instagram. But let's say this is just your typical calendar. I'm going to add a day. So you get the point. Say I don't post on Sunday. So this is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So let's only do the business work week, just to make it simple. And you've got these 4 weeks. What I will end up doing, and I'll color them for you so you can see what I'm talking about. So let's say this is, we're going to say this whole entire week, you're about to, let's say you're not even launching anything. You just want to tell an eloquent story to your audience. You want to be consistent, and you want your audience not to be, you don't want to jump around your audience and be like, what are we doing here? Right? Like, you want to try to stay themed. And so this whole week is red. Now this red week is going to represent, let's say, just like I said, content. So you can put it right here if you want. I'm actually not going to write it because that was going to look horrible, but this is just, you can make a key down here or whatever you want, but this red, try to remember content. And let's go with another color. Let's go with blue. This blue piece, let's say that's going to be email marketing, because I have an email marketing course I'm getting ready to launch. And you can do this in 30 days. You can do this just in a 1 week. I know people like Russell Brunson. I've seen his calendars. They do a year, and they put a lot of content out. Now they probably go more granular, of course, but I like to do it in 30 days, and I get super, super detailed, and I actually am putting it up on the website so all of the members can make sure to check in and say, look, I really want more information on that piece of content, and you can see what's happening coming down the pipeline. So what I say, that's content, that's email marketing. Let's say green is SEO. So I'm going to talk a lot about SEO and how, it's really important to have your on-screen SEO to be on point. It's really important to have this SEO be linking up to all of your content pieces and your backlinks and your internal links and all that. So that I'll talk all about that. And then in the last week, let's use Orange and let's talk about market research. Obviously, that's our bread and butter here, and I think everything, how at least I prefer to talk about it and our consultants do, is market research ladders up to all these things. You can't have someone running SEO if they don't understand the consumer insights. You can't have someone creating content if they don't know your customer. You can't have someone doing email marketing, which that one is one where we over deliver, because that's where we tell our stories. That's actually the best blend of SEO and customer insights is in your email marketing, because we tell all automatic sequences using segmentation. So this really is the heavy one. So this orange one is going to be market research, and that's how I do that. So that's step one, is breaking down the concepts and the principles and just basically the topics and themes to make sure I'm organized. Okay, now I've got that broken up, and then it really gets to how good I feel. So this is where you have to sort of do a gut check. How do you feel as a content creator? If you're someone who doesn't want to write, so I like to write, and I'll end up writing a couple, maybe 1,000 word, a couple thousand words a day, and that's outside of my client work. Like if I have our premium clients who need content written, I will handle that personally, and I'll make sure to write a couple thousand words a week for them. So, but that's where I play my strengths, and I encourage you to play your strengths as well. So don't, if you're someone who's better in front of camera, get in front of camera. All of it's content, but do what you over deliver at, because your energy is what you have to protect. So take a look at your energy and look at these weeks and say, okay, I'm going to actually do, let's see, I'm actually posting every single day on Instagram now. So, you could make these however you want to call it. I actually, instead of writing the word, I'm going to do it for the video. I was going to write the word, but I'll do it exactly how I do it. So I have a content legend or a key. So a star is going to be my Instagram. And then I do a lot of syndication. So I'm going to be making some content about that very soon, which is the syndication proclamation, how to actually repurpose your content. So if I put something on Instagram, instead of just like shoving it on Facebook, there is a way to slightly tweak it. And you can use this content again to make it a Facebook worthy post. I take these, I obviously change them up. I keep them in 4K. I change the background because I have to change the dimensions on this. As if you notice, the dimensions get a lot better, and then I put it on YouTube. So there's a lot of syndication that can happen. So if I have my syndication, a dot is YouTube, and then if I do a slash, so let's do a slash square, star slash square. For me, that tells me Facebook/Instagram. Because like I said, mine's huge and I don't want to write Facebook and Instagram 1,000 times, and I just have my key. And then I have my dot, which is YouTube. And that reminds me, it's a really good way to remind me that I need to post it on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. And then on LinkedIn, I just do a line like that. I just do a straight line. And when I make this sort of content schedule and I make these notations, I have a little checkbox and I tick them off, because that makes sure that I stay in my habit, my rhythm, and I'm focused on creating content, because that can never slip, that can never fall, and you want to keep your momentum going. Now, you dig a little deeper, you dig in a more granular way. So, referencing back to the other content that we made about this, it's going to be, you have your content. Now break down your content in your key questions and pieces. So what I'll also do, so now that I've got like the platforms, I'll break it in half and I'll say, here's where I'm going to post. And typically I'll actually do that second, but let's just keep it for the sake of this video very simple. And, you've got, I skipped a day here, sorry about that. So, oh no, I didn't, I just split that in half. So I've got your Monday, you've got these 4 places and platforms it's going to post, and then you want to make sure you get your concept. And if you lay all that out, everything else can kind of shift, your message can kind of shift a little bit, but for content, I'm going to say, one of the big problems is people think it's hard to make. So I'm going to say difficulty. Sorry for that writing. I'm writing with a pen or one of these iPad pens, obviously, but that says difficulty. And after that, it's going to be, I'm going to talk consistency on Wednesday, today. And then another one, so let's say Tuesday, I'm going to talk about, you could do habit, or no, let's do technical. Let's do the technical side. Let's do the technical side of content creation. That'll be a concept I talk about. So again, you're just capturing these ideas of what you're talking about. So Monday, difficulty, Tuesday, technical, Wednesday, consistently, and so on and so forth. And your Thursday is going to be another component breaking down these main ideas within your content creation. And all the while, remember these little key points and legends. Like again, if this was bigger, I would map all this out. But let's just say I would map this out a little bit more clean, of course. So you do the same thing though. You do your dot, you do your line. That reminds me. And then, so I don't always post on LinkedIn, and that reminds me when I posted where, because what you'll notice is you start making a lot of content and putting it in a lot of places. And again, you want a cohesive story that lines up. And some of these are going to be blogs, right? So make sure you duplicate content definitely matters on YouTube. So be careful with that. Don't just copy paste your description and make it a blog. You want to also make sure your blogs are 500 words, depending on what you're using, WordPress. And Yoast, I think Yoast, it'll give you a quote unquote red line if it's 300 or less, so or under 300. So you want to take each of these platform notations and add it to each of these days. And each of these days, you want to break down your major themes based on the value to the consumer, what we talked about on Monday. And that'll fill out your entire week. So then you'll have your content plan across all your social platforms, your blog, and you'll be able to link them all together. If you are making, so if you're making video content, so your cross platforms, and then if you're running ads too, this is a really great way. You could say, look, on Monday, I'm going to push more ads to Facebook. On Tuesday, I'm going to push more ads to LinkedIn. So I've got an entire spreadsheet that maps all of this out perfectly to the dollar. And basically I can plug and play, drag and drop, and it's a seesaw and a lever that I'm moving numbers around to maximize the output. So I'll put estimations in there, and it really is an incredible way to stay efficient. And it's how I spent the first year just making my own content. Now I have people helping me, but it's how I'm able to write so much and be everywhere as one human, writing ads and doing all these things while handling client work. So it is a way to make your time stretch and make it seem like you're 3 people when you're 1. So you've got your entire layout, you'll have your notations for your week, and so like for SEO, it's the exact same thing, the exact same process. And if I do this on a Monday night or a Sunday night, right after I do a Case of the Monday, so I record a Case of the Mondays podcast on Sunday night. That takes a very long time, of course. If you're not familiar with that content, check it out, but it's very, very long form content, and it's absolutely staggering and gutting to sit there and record, and if I have to change everything, so it's a lot of work. But then right when I'm done, I make sure to do this. And so I tend to do all of my mapping on Sunday, so I have my whole week prepared, because you don't want to waste valuable time in the morning, especially during the work week, figuring out what you're going to talk about. You want it to already be done. And the nice thing is, you can, when you have it mapped, you can notice you'll deviate, but you'll feel more comfortable doing so. And you'll actually feel encouraged because you feel like you're making your message better. And you can react real time. So a lot of people are reacting about the habit. I was able to shift this message, but I knew that my Wednesday was going to be about consistency. And the way to build consistency is through planning. So I shifted that consistent message to planning based on what happened yesterday. It's a real-time example. So it's a way to make you more reactive and more effective, real-time to your audience, while making sure you're planned and telling a cohesive, eloquent story and on point with your concepts and your keywords, and you're hitting all your targets so you can keep building. Content's about building and progressing the narrative for your customer and telling stories. So your content planning will help you tell better stories more consistently. Thanks for checking this out. This is an episode of Drawing Conclusions. I've been putting these on YouTube. We've got our website launching, DeepBridgeConsulting.com. Check it all out. I really appreciate it. But more than anything, like, share it. Send it if you have someone who think might like this. Please share it. That does help, and it is the way that I can keep doing this for you and spending so much time just putting this out there for you. So thanks, guys. I really appreciate you, and we'll see you back here Friday. Drawing Conclusions, usually by 9 a.m. So thanks a lot, guys.